Okay. Good morning to all you fellow sorry about that. Good morning to all you fellow TIs out there. I'm gonna go over a demonstration video on how I deal with my harassment and stuff is concerned. And the one thing to do, the old saying still remains the same. It says keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. I'm gonna actually give you a decent explanation as to what I mean by this. Now, a lot of these gang stalkers use several different methods, from color harassment, from noise harassment, from gaslighting, from slandering, from the booty bandit shit as well. They use a lot of these various different methods, right? And I started to understand what was the purpose, the main course goal for this harassment, And what I started to understand was it was always strive to trigger a reaction. And every time they would, get a reaction, what they would do is they would play the covert card immediately. And then, as gaslighting is concerned, and then they would pretend like they didn't do anything. So when I started to understand this, I started to realize that, something, wait a minute. First off, I'm not going to just, I could just jump off the gun and say that's harassment, that's harassment, that's harassment. But I want to be able to actually not just say that. I wanted to be able to explain it in details, precisely what it is that they're doing. So then when people started to actually hear what I was saying, it would make a lot more sense, and their denial card would be immediately withdrawn. Normally what I do is I wait until they actually go out of their way to slander me. I wait until they go out of their way, until they do that stuff, until they start talking to the people around me, saying all this, that, and the other thing. I wait until they do that, and then as soon as they do that enough to where people are actually aware of what they're doing, to where it's enough people to know, then you want to know the next thing I do, I immediately go ahead and light out with a speech. I let them know this is nothing but gaslighting. This is nothing but community-based harassment towards to drive a victim either mentally insane or mentally in a mentally aggravated state, or to basically sensitize the target to that of what they're doing. So one thing needs to be known is that first off, I didn't follow these people around; they followed me. They go around random locations to wherever I'm going, and it's the exact same things being said. You got to understand what your evidence is going to be. First off, what's being said everywhere you're going, and what random locations are you going to, as far as the same things that are being said. If the same thing is being said in many different locations that you're going, that you just chose to randomly go to different locations, that not only points to A, you're being followed, that points to B, you're also being triggered for gaslighting. That's two bits of evidence for your situation right there. The next thing is concerned, now as far as electronic harassment, one of the things they seem to not like is when the evidence gets shown, as far as you being able to record them of what they're doing. Here's my advice. Look, for one of your devices, do a factory reset on it. Do a factory reset. You're probably gonna have to make sure it's charged up to at least around 30%. And take an SD card and take another phone that you got, you can just connect it to the Wi-Fi or whatever, and start looking for, at this point, your phone is already being hacked, so it doesn't even matter at this point. Take an SD card and look through online and look for APK files. Now, go look for APK files for a EMF meter. Get that, and for a screen recorder. The X screen recorder is one of the best ones you can get. Do that. Put that on the SD card. Take the SD card off the phone. Put that on the phone that you're keeping offline at all times. You're not connecting that to no Wi-Fi network. Now, Wi-Fi is always disabled, and you're not turning no services onto that phone. You want to keep all that off, and you also want display to be set to be on off at all times. If you can, it's best to like modify it to where a glass case is over it, so that way like nothing brushes across the screen moving anything. That way you get the screen recorder recording the screen at all times wherever you're going, right? And you able to, this thing also records audio too, so you can have both the audio in that footage as well as you confirming your location with the other footage that you're taking, vice versa. This could be, if you want to be able to confirm different locations is what you're going, but you could do this with the body cam. Do that and then confirm that wherever you're going, they're gonna zap you with this shit. I guarantee you, they're gonna zap you at some point in time because they're too addicted to the torture, man. They're too addicted to that. So what you want to do is make certain that you got both that evidence. You can have them both side by side, and the time and date is gonna be confirmed or whatever. And as far as really the time and date may not match up on that video, but it's going to be on the video that you have still, that you are using to record, and that you're using to better establish everything. Now, honestly, you're going to need a VPN, but from my experience, they to the point to where like they would mess with the battery. Like one of the other best things you could get is like a cleaner for your phone. Just get some type of cleaner for your phone that actually helps you better establish a lot of the stuff, because it is going to allow, there's a lot of unnecessary files that they'll put on your phone that will give them control, and you can just delete those files with that file thing. But on another note, as far as that's how you can counteract that stuff. Now then, as far as harassment into your home, first off, do a self-made video, just like I did earlier when it came to my taxes. Like if you got stuff that's moved around in your home, stuff that's being manipulated around, do a video stating that you are the one who has access to that place, and that you do not plan on moving any of these said items that are shown within. Anything in here will not be moved. If anything is found moved, and your location data is all, you could always have access to your location data. You can go ahead and get the evidence shows that you did leave said premises and that you did come back. That's going to be your proof that you did leave and that you did come back. Now, if anything gets moved between the two times that you actually have stated that vid, if anything gets moved at all, and you don't even have to keep recording this anyway, like state that like whatever is in a certain position will not be moved or whatever, right? And what you want to do is, like, when you're done using said thing, make sure it's put in the exact same spot. Make sure it's put in the exact same spot of what you claim, because that way it holds up to your accountability of your claim. Now, when it comes to color harassment, when it comes to noise harassment, and when it comes to light harassment, here's my methods of dealing with that. First off, the color, I always leave this in a scenario to where it's more adjustable to where they can't count me off as being mentally ill. So I always keep this in a scenario to where it has probable cause. First off, I always acknowledge that first off, everybody can just wear just about any color they want. I always look at that perspective. And I also recognize that if I'm going to several different locations and the exact same color is being flashed at me multiple times, but not just being flashed, but intentionally to where it's put in my line of view. What I usually do is whenever I'm like on my travels, I would fix my line of view in a certain position. And if that color is constantly being put in my line of view, that's color harassment, without a doubt. It's because if I'm on the bus, right, and I'm viewing outside, but I keep seeing the exact same color on multiple occurrences in different locations, that's a clear sign that yes, you're being followed. If I'm looking like it down the aisle of the bus, anybody could walk on that bus with that color. It's another thing that a lot of people walking on the bus would have the color on them, right? That's one thing. That's also could be used as proof, but you have to use probable cause when it comes to this. You have to be able to think in the lines of causality and actuality when it comes to this. I know it's hard. I know it truly is, but you need to be able to do that if you're going to make a decent case. Now, several different things as far as what's going on. As far as various different things that are happening, like several different times, you also got to you could use that against them as well. If they're doing something specific and it's a constant thing, and they're gonna keep doing it, by the way, if as long as it bothers you, you want to document that. You want to be able to get video footage of it whenever it happens. You don't have to overreact. Don't even give them a reaction, because when you do, then that gives them evidence that they could discredit it, saying, "Oh, well, like I'm just walking by coughing here, and then you came over to me. I didn't go over to you." You want it to where they have no choice but to pay you the utmost attention, which they are, but you want them to be in a position to where they do it more oftenly. You don't want them to have it to where they can just be calm with what they're doing, and then what they're doing, they know it's gonna bother you. This is why I also highly recommend people to, please, for your own sake, look up EMDR. It literally desensitizes you from trauma. It helps you desensitize yourself from trauma, and it makes things a lot easier. If they're trying to cook you in your home, get aloe vera plants. That stuff absorbs the radiation that is trying to cook you in your own home. As far as anything else is concerned, the formula that I made, get orange slices. Get the orange slices. Get the some baking soda. Get some iodine, sea salt. Mix that together with some. You can do this with regular water, and it'll still work. And shoot.